Okay, in this video I'm going to go over a quick and simple way to construct a cone using a couple of circles. The cone feature doesn't always work under the inspect. Sometimes it causes the software to crash, so I always find it easier to just use circles. So I'm going to select just a circle near the taper. I'll just pick this one here arbitrarily. And then, since I don't know the exact dimensions all along this taper and I don't want to have to do all the math, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select a point, say right about here, and get my information from its coordinates. So I'm going to change it from rectangular to polar. That'll tell me the radius and the height of that point. And that is what I want to use to construct my nominal circle. And then from there, I just click cancel or OK. I'm going to delete that. Change my z-axis height to what I got with that point. And then for the diameter, I'm going to input my radius that it showed times 2 for my diameter. 2.4834. 2.4834. And now I've created my nominal circle at that location. Now from there, I'll take 12 points around it to make sure it doesn't crash. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of room in my approach and my retract. And then add touches. This one, it defaulted to a guide curve, which is shown here. I wanted to do a fixed tilt in advance. That way it'll be at an angle as it goes around. That actually looks pretty good. Now, from there you could also change the angle if you'd like. So you can change it to a wider angle or more narrow. And then apply. Now, doing it this way, what is going to happen is that it is going to put your points at the circle that you selected when you created the feature. But to get past that, it's a little tedious, but you can just open each one and input the height that you selected earlier. Just copy that, and then do that for the rest of these. Copy and paste, paste. And then as you're editing these, you'll actually see the points in the model move up to the location of the circle that you selected or you created. Just a couple more. Oh, already did that one. There. Now all your points are on that circle. Now make sure that wherever you're starting from, I have the probe on this side. That's where my first point is, over here. I have my first point on this side. So now I'm good to start. If it's on the other side, if you have your probe on the other side or your points are starting on the other side, you can either rearrange your points or you can just add a movement. So now I'm going to apply. And the CMM is now going to take those points, and you can see the path that it's following is along this red line. Now next, I'm going to go up a little bit higher. I'm going to create another circle. We'll say, well, I don't want it to go through all of these slots, so I'll just go at the top up here, and we'll go around the large slot. Oh, I forgot to select my circle. So you select the circle, doesn't matter which one. I'll go with that one. And then a point where you want it to measure. Again, I'm going to take my measurements in the polar coordinate system. I'll write down what my radius is and my height. Cancel that, delete that point, calculate out what my diameter is going to be. And that is going to be the diameter of the nominal circle at that location. So 2.3624, click the check. It's almost imperceivable the amount that diameter changed. And then the height, 15654. Drop down. Inputting the nominals just makes it more accurate when you have it add touches, and it creates its own path. So my settings again, I want to make sure I have clearance. And then I'm going to have it add touches. Again, it went to a guide curve. Because the feature I selected is only a partial circle, it only did a semicircle. But that's not a big deal. Cancel, cancel. Since I already have all my nominal information, I can just quickly go back to here, click on that circle, and input it into this one. There we go, see? Input my distances, add touches, there we go. And again, it defaulted to guide curve. This time it is a full circle. I'm gonna go back to fixed tilt. I'll leave it at 10 degrees. And apply. All my points are in there. Like before, they are all the way down at that feature, so this time I'm going to input my Z height again. Copy that. Okay. And then I'm just going to quickly go through and change all of these one at a time. I don't know if this is the most efficient, probably not the most efficient way to do this, but it only takes a few seconds. Okay, and then looking again, my first point is on this side. There is a clear path from the probe's point to that first point. So I'll hit apply. Wait, I almost forgot to get rid of those clearance. Cancel. Area code. Yes. So now I have those points there. There are points at this slot that I'm not going to be able to go around, or it'll be an empty space. So when you look at this here, all these points right here along your y-axis at x0 are just kind of floating in space. So I need to add some movements in between those. Because I don't want this machine to actually move to those points at this moment, I'm going to put the CMM offline. Now you can see down here, I can do stuff in the program and the actual machine is not going to move. Now looking for my first x0 coordinate right here, I can see that. I want to make a movement at that height, just further out in y. So instead of negative 1.2574, I'll just make it negative 2. So at that point, absolute movement. X0, Y -2, height 1.5654. Using my point coordinate system, that's going to be at -90, 15, 180. And that's what it's going to look like there. Now I can delete the unnecessary point. And then I'll do the same one for this one right here. This other X0, which is going to be at this slot at the top. So double click the gears here, because it'll input right above the gears. Move, absolute, part coordinate system. Y is now going to be a +2, same Z height. This one's going to be +90 for the Z1, 15, 180. Now I've input that point to work around. I can delete my unnecessary point. Save that. Now I'm going to turn the CMM back online. And it's just a little glitchy there, but I'm going to come back up here above that feature, push play. Now it's put where it actually is. That's where it's physically at on the machine. Okay to start. It's going to take its points, and it's going to move around the slot, and then take its points again. So it's pretty easy to actually go around an obstruction or a gap just by inputting a movement. Oh, that's my original ones. So now to build my cone, I can just save that. Always save. I'm going to go to construct, and I'm going to construct a cone using the wizard. I can use the wizard, or you can select your features out here. Try best fit. I just like to use the wizard, knowing what these are, what the name of these are. You can actually go here, right click, new, and then just type in the name of what the feature is. So circle 001, new, circle 002. You could also select the feature on the model over here. So I can just come over here, click that, and then it populated it into the construction wizard. Notice the green check isn't highlighted yet. It doesn't have enough information. A circle in the machine only recognizes it as a single point at the central axis of the circle. So to build a cone out of it, I'm going to right click and do a point buffer. That way I can actually use the points that I used to make the circle. Start point all 12 points that are available. Okay. And then do that for both of them. I only had 10 points for the top circle because I deleted 2 of them. Best fit. Now I have my check mark, and it's going to have your simulated cone all the way up here. That is the cone that it is going to build using these circles. And that is correct because the taper on that cone is kind of slight. It's only like a 5 degree, somewhere around there, 5 or 6 degree taper. So the projection does take it all the way up here. You can see on here it shows the height at 26 inches. So you can do that. Check. Okay. And now I've constructed my cone right there. And that's it. That is how you make a cone or a taper using 2 circles. You can do any number of circles, and that's it.